Kieran, what's it like coming to this Australian Open now that you're not travelling to play the international tournaments? How does your preparation differ to what it might once have been?
Yeah, it's about trying to remember the routine that I used to have when I was travelling to play. Did it for a number of years, and for the last 6 years I haven't had a chance to travel to play the tournament. So I've started to get that new routine as to what's required when this is probably the biggest tournament I play each year. So yeah, it's just remembering what it used to look like, how I went about things, and getting into that routine for 3 or 4 weeks leading into the tournament.
So you're coming into the first round now against Darcy. What's it like now seeing all these young Australian amateurs coming through in the place that you were once in?
It's really great to see them all coming up, and provides me with motivation to continue to get out there and get better, so that it's a bit longer before they can get up to beat me. But it's really good to, like, when I was growing up, we had a great group going through, and that pushed us all to do better things and be able to go and play in the Clothier Cup, and then a number of those people have gone on to play for the Australian Bathurst Cup team, and I can see that coming along again. Although at the same time, I think overall the level of junior tennis has improved both in the US and the UK as well, and so although the new crop coming through here in Australia is probably the best we've had in a while, they've got their work cut out against what's coming up in the other countries as well.
And back on you, how are you maintaining your level to compete with the top 10 in the world?
For me, these days, it's just as much about fitness. I've hit a lot of balls over the years, and so that's pretty easy to get back into, but it's just staying in the right kind of condition and the right weight. So spending a bit more time in the gym, a bit more time running, keeping control of the diet so that I can get back towards a playing weight. And then the tennis comes closer to the tournaments. Outside that, 2 to 3 times a week for an hour after work or first thing in the mornings. Sort of how I keep that going. And it also helps having tournaments to look forward to, because that means I can start to prepare and get that kind of training block in the right time.
So should the matches go to seeding, you'd have a quarter-final against Chris Chapman, someone that you've shared the court with a lot over the years. How do you play a match against somebody whose game you know quite well like that?
In some ways it makes it easy because you know what to expect. You don't need to look at different patterns. You go out there to just try and execute what you know will work well in those matches. We do practice a lot in Melbourne. I often hear him say he gets an easy ball and hits it where he'd normally hit it, and he goes, I'm there, because we just place each other so much that we just instinctively know where the ball's going to go. We've also had a lot of very tight and long matches, so if it does go to seeding and we do play, then I'm sure it'll be a very entertaining match and a very close match.
What does success look like for you this week?
Success for me this week looks like being able to play my best tennis. If I do that, the rest will take care of itself. I've done the preparation to be able to do that, but it's one thing to put the prep in, it's another thing to go out there and deliver in a match. If we all knew what was going to happen, then we wouldn't bother to actually play the matches. We'd just look at the draw and we'd pick a winner. So for me, it's just now success is getting out there and playing to the level that I believe I can play to in every match.
What's it like coming back here to Hobart to play an Australian Open as opposed to where we normally have it in Melbourne?
So I grew up in Hobart, so in some ways it's familiar, but I've played a lot more of my tennis recently in Melbourne, so it takes a while for me to get back used to the court, but I come down here regularly because I've still got family here as well. So from that side, it's good to come back, good to spend time with family as well, but from a tennis perspective it takes a bit of time to get used to the court, as I wouldn't call it my home court anymore.
In the doubles partnering with Ollie Pridmore, you've formed quite the partnership over the last couple of years. What's it like playing with Ollie?
Ollie's fantastic to play with. Anything I miss, he can just come and get. And I think a couple of years ago, he played in an Australian Open, not with me, with someone else, and they were playing Nick Howell and Chris Chapman, and someone came up from watching that match and said he's fearless. He just stands in front of anything Nick hits. And I went, well, if that's the kind of attitude that he's got, and then from then on also seeing him on court, it was like it's the right kind of mix. He's prepared to get out there, have a go at everything, listen, but also quick around the court, and So yeah, I thought it was a great opportunity for us to play together, not just in the Australian Open, but both being amateurs, to build that partnership to play in all the different events that come up around Australia means we can continue to build on that partnership.
How would you describe the way that you two work together on court?
So it's probably about, at the moment, he's up there playing the net, and I'm playing the back, and just working through letting him do what he would normally do rather than him trying to do what I would do. And I found when we play our best doubles, when I play the best doubles with anyone that I play with, it's about having fun and being mates out there rather than trying to change too much. And so really it's with the games and what we're good at, trying to give us both the opportunity to do what we're good at out on court.
And where are you looking to progress to in that doubles draw? What's the target there this week?
Oh, well, you always want to win every match you go out there and play. We've got a first match against Claire and Will. Claire's obviously a very accomplished player, and Will's coming up. So we've got to focus on doing well there. And obviously if we don't, then there won't be any more. And if there is, then we get great opportunities to play more matches. So look, we want to do as well as possible, but realise that if we don't bring our A game, then we will only be playing that first match.
What does the calendar look like for the rest of the year for you?
For me, I'll just be playing the Australian tournaments. The current plan is that there's going to be Sydney up and running, and so the Australian Amateur and there'll be a New South Wales Open, so a couple of or a new court to play on, and just really to try and play all of the local tournaments, the Tasmanian Amateur, the Tasmanian Open, Vic Amateur, Vic Open, and then the Australian Amateur on top of that.
All right, Kieran, thank you very much.
Thanks.